everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Terminologies. Terminologies is in every culture, every society, every community, every region. It's everything we say and do. That's terminology. The roots of terminology is the seed in which all things are created and comes together in perfect unification. Writing systems go back as far as the classical era, and perhaps before that. In accordance with Babel.com, Sumerians may have been the first to create words and meanings. It's possible. There could be civilizations before the Sumerian civilization. But far as we know, the Sumerians created terminologies. Also, Pacific terminologies may have made its first appearance in classical documents on Indus scripts, the Han script, the Sumero-Akkadian script, cuneiforms, Egyptian hieroglyphs, and other related writing sources according to an ancient history of writing source. It's important to note, since ancient classical times, words have evolved due to an increase in population size and culture identity. What's more is that experts estimate more than 3,800 cultures in the world. They also claim that numbers could be higher because cultures are not always restricted to territories of the countries. In addition, according to the Intrepid Guide, there are currently 7,117 known languages spoken by people around the world. Equally important, in accordance with LanguageSolution.com, an estimated 7,139 languages spoken in the world. 90% are used in communities of less than 100,000 people. In this same report, it goes on to say between 150 and 200 languages are spoken by 1 million people. Not only, but also, we have 7 billion people on Earth. In retrospect, old terminologies will die and new terminologies will develop. Moreover, according to a February 16, 2021 article from the languagedoctors.org, there are 6 dead languages: Latin, Sanskrit, Coptic, Biblical, Hebrew, Ancient Greek, and Akkadian languages. Those are all dead languages. Now, does that mean new terminologies replaced old terminologies written from the 6 dead languages? Or move fly? These bugs are Anyway, as I was saying, does that mean that old terminologies were revised but was still able to maintain some form of its original meaning? Terms or terminologies has always meant different things according to different countries. Also, words that are spelled the same have different meanings and translations. For example, like the bird, is a crane. Construction workers uses cranes to do their work. Same word, different terminologies. Terminology is a clarification of words, but not always with the same meaning in translations. Furthermore, in regards to biblical terminology, it has levels of meanings and tends to focus on the spiritual sense, such as an allegorical perspective. In an NPR.org report written September 14, 2017, the now popular belief that the story of Adam and Eve is an allegory. In addition, according to daytranslations.com, biblical interpretations are a product of human logic and understanding. In many cases, inconsistencies and contradictions in the translations processes of materials can and often lead to deadly consequences, depending on its severity of the misapplication, such as a misdiagnosis from a medical practitioner. Also, an illusion and a delusion terminology can be referred to as a misapplication. For example, Merriam-Webster.com explains the term or terminology as the state or fact of being intellectually deceived or misled, such as a deception. Also, an illusion in literary terminology is when the writer creates an image that deceives the readers, such as somebody behind the curtain in space pulling all the strings. So we image that phenomenon out there, whoever it may be, pulling the strings. It may be a whole bunch of phenomenons pulling the strings, but illusion literary terminology, they create a phenomenon out there, and then they put it in books, and it becomes repetitious and saying that phenomenon is going to be the phenomenon that controls all strings, and we must all look to that phenomenon for revelation. That is an illusion literary terminology when the author creates an image that deceives the readers in that regard. In addition, delusion terminology is a belief that is false. That is an abnormality in the affected person's thought, according to PMC and NCBI. It is important to note, terminologies can be viewed as the gateway to the mind's eyes. Strings of letters forms in our brains, creating shapes and forms. Terms that are recognized then become stored image. In other words, you create words in your head, and then the terminology, like for example, I see a bus. You can see the letter bus in your brain, and then the image will automatically form shapes and cylinders and those kinds of things in order to form an image of a bus. As expressed, observing words activates the lateral occipital region, the area of the brain that processes visual information. Overall, the ancient classical societies or communities of people visualized an imagery of Earth's physics, chemistry, philosophy, and meteorology or elements of Earth, naming those components, then storing both image and terms of images in the occipital autonomy of the brain. All things are considered in terminology. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel.